At the far edge of the city, there was this old government house, a place that had been locked up tight for nearly 20 years. It was the kind of place that sparked rumors, the kind of place people whispered about. The local legend was that inside this house there was a single door that opened only once, and anyone who dared to walk through it, well, they were never seen again, just vanished. But Ali, he wasn't the type to buy into ghost stories. He saw it as the perfect setting for his next viral video. So, one moonless night, he gathered his friends, grabbed his camera, and headed to the abandoned house. They were all in high spirits, laughing, cracking jokes, making fun of the spooky tales. The thrill of breaking the rules was intoxicating. They found a loose window, pried it open, and slipped inside, their voices echoing in the dusty air. The moment their feet touched the grimy floor of the main hall, everything changed. Every bit of ambient light from the city outside just vanished. The entire hall was plunged into an unnerving, absolute darkness. And from somewhere deep within the house, from what sounded like the very last room down the long corridor, a new sound emerged. It was faint at first, but unmistakable. The sound of a woman sobbing quietly, her grief seeming to seep into the very walls around them. The laughter died instantly. A nervous energy took its place. Ollie, ever the leader, fumbled for his phone and turned on the flashlight. The narrow beam cut through the oppressive dark, dancing across peeling wallpaper and cobwebs. As he swept the light across the wall nearest to them, they all saw it at the same time. Scrawled in what looked like dried red letters was a chilling message. If the door opens, don't look back. Panic started to set in. One of his friends, Tariq, whispered, Ali, man, let's get out of here. This isn't funny anymore. Another friend, Sarah, was already backing toward the window they'd come through, her eyes wide with fear. The fun and games were over. The house felt alive now, and it felt hostile. But just as they were about to retreat, a new sound stopped them cold. A slow, agonizing creak. It was coming from the end of the corridor, the very door the sobbing had come from. It was opening, slowly, deliberately, all by itself. A deep, impenetrable darkness lay beyond its threshold. Ollie, despite the fear knotting in his stomach, did what he always did. He raised his camera, pointing the lens straight toward the opening door. His friends were shouting at him, begging him to leave, but the storyteller in him, the thrill-seeker, couldn't resist. He had to capture this. As the door swung fully open, it revealed nothing but an inky black void. It was like looking into space. A darkness so complete it seemed to swallow the light from Ollie's phone. But wait, there was something. Two distinct, human-shaped shadows were cast against the far wall inside the room. But there was no one there to cast them. They were just shadows standing there. A man and a woman, their forms clear as day, but made of pure darkness. Then the shadows started to move, not like people walking, but slithering, defying gravity. They detached from the back wall and began to climb, crawling up the side walls like spiders, their forms distorting and stretching in a nauseating way. The quiet sobs had stopped, replaced by a tense, heavy silence. The shadows reached the ceiling, scurried across it, and then, with terrifying speed, they rushed straight down the corridor, directly toward Ollie and his friends. That was it. Tariq and Sarah screamed and ran, stumbling over each other in their desperate flight for the window, for the safety of the outside world. They didn't look back, not even for a second. But Ollie was frozen. He stood his ground, the camera still glued to his eye, recording everything. The shadows were almost on him, these impossible figures of darkness. He could feel a coldness wash over him, a presence that felt ancient and malevolent. He remembered the warning on the wall, "Don't look back." The urge was overwhelming. What was behind him? What were his friends doing? He was just about to turn, to glance over his shoulder, when something shot out from the blackness of the doorway. It wasn't a shadow, it was solid. A hand, or something like a hand, cold and impossibly strong, clamped down on his arm. It grabbed him violently, and with a single powerful jerk, pulled him off his feet and dragged him into the darkness of the room. The camera recorded it all. The sound of his scream cut short. The frantic sound of his shoes scraping against the floorboards. The thud as his body was pulled through the doorway, and then the heavy slam of the door shutting, sealing the darkness once again. After that, there was only silence. When the police finally arrived the next morning, alerted by Ali's terrified friends, they found the house just as the legends described it. Locked, silent, and empty. That notorious last door at the end of the hall was shut tight. On the floor, just in front of it, lay Ollie's camera, its battery light blinking weakly. The officers took the camera back to the station, hoping it would hold some answers. They watched the footage, their faces growing paler with every second. They saw the laughter, the darkness, the message on the wall, the shadows. They saw Ollie being dragged away. The final few seconds of the recording were shaky, the lens pointed at the wall just inside the dark room. In the dim, failing light of the camera, a new message was visible, freshly written in that same chilling red. It was Ollie's handwriting. It said, "Don't open the door. It lies." Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more chilling tales from the dark corners of the world. Stay safe and see you next time.